Oh yeah, and we back because we black. Because we back. We black. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Yes sir. Yes sir. We are back once again, hitting y'all with another live show. Did one yesterday. Now we got another one popping off. Once again, hitting y'all with another live show. Hold on, let me make sure my audio straight. I don't know why yeah, bro. Oh, my mic might be on other stuff, bro. Let me see how I'm sounding now. All right. Okay. Make sure I'm on. Make sure. Okay. All right. Okay. We good. We back at it. What's up, people? What's up, people? For those of y'all who are tuning in, my name is CJ, aka the High Value Nurse, checking in once again, back with another live stream. Got a good show for y'all today. Ladies and gentlemen. Got a lot to talk about. Y'all know yesterday, man, I was kind of on one yesterday because, Dr. Umar Johnson, he came for the educated black man. Yes, he did. He came for the educated black man. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't appreciate it. Did not appreciate it. Black men we already go through enough as it is. And I didn't appreciate it. For those of you who are not familiar with what he said, I'll do a quick little replay of it in the meantime. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, but I gotta start this thing off with a nursing story, ladies and gentlemen. Got to start this thing off with a nursing story, but y'all know later on in the broadcast, we are going to be talking about our educated black men under attack. And before that, we're going to talk about if black men, educated black men, are simps with no game. I've been seeing a lot of rhetoric going around about this whole passport bro thing, and that's kind of like the hottest thing right now on the internet. And it's even breaking off into the mainstream. And people have been talking about it. Now, there has been, I don't know if I would call it conflict, but it's almost been like a back and forth between like the passport bros and the dating coaches. Passport bros are saying, okay, we don't want to deal with, and I hate this term, but I'm going to use it for the sake of the conversation. We don't want to deal with modern women over here in in America. We want to go over there. So they don't want to deal with the women in the West. They want to go over there. And it's been a conflict because you got the passport bros versus like the dating coaches on YouTube. And a lot of the brothers that I see going over to these countries, they're educated men, they're successful men. And they're just not having luck over here in America. This is why they're getting their passports and they are leaving, according to some of the passport bros. And is that a result of not having game? Is that a result of not having game? Is that a result of not having no ism with the ladies? Because some of the argument is you're going to be a simp over there. If you're a simp here, you're going to be a simp over there. So is that the argument, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know, but we'll get to it. First story I want to bring up tonight. Oh, man, this one is crazy. I got a nursing story for y'all very quickly. This was a wild one when I saw it, ladies and gentlemen. It was a wild one when I saw it. A woman, an elderly woman, is accused of unaliving her terminally ill husband at Daytona Beach Hospital. It was supposedly a planned unaliving, bang, bang, between her and her husband. We are about to get into this story right now. boys and girls. Was a wild one. I had to do a nursing story, and I didn't really feel like making a whole separate video for it. So we're gonna clip this thing up and we're gonna talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Make sure that's looking good. Yes, you see it right there. Our first thing of the night. Our first thing of the night. Oh yeah, we with the BS right now. Woman accused of unaliving terminally ill husband at Daytona Beach Hospital. Planned shooting with the spouse. Okay. So I'm gonna play the video later. I'm gonna play it later on, but a 76-year-old woman is behind bars, 76, in Volusia County after being accused of unaliving her husband, her terminally ill husband. Ellen Gillen faced a judge for the first time Sunday, on the Sunday too. This must have been real bad. I didn't even know they had court proceedings on the weekends. But Ellen Gillen faced, maybe it was over FaceTime or something like that, or Zoom. Ellen Gillen faced a judge for the first time Sunday on several charges, including first-degree unaliving. She's being held without bond. Based upon the nature of the charge, Mrs. Gillen, I am going to hold, and this is the quote from the judge. Based upon the nature of the charge, Mrs. Gillen, I am going to hold you on no bond under the unaliving charge and the remaining charges, and then you'll be set for a future court date, says Judge Mary Jolie. Gillen also faces 3 counts of aggravated assault. Here's the thing, though, and some people were asking this question. Well, how did this woman get into this hospital? How did this woman get into this facility with a weapon? And as common as it is, like, I don't know where y'all live at, but in the suburbs of Detroit, there are no metal detectors in the hospitals. Now you got some directly within the city, within the urban population, but there are no metal detectors in these hospitals. It's not. They don't have them. So I don't know what the hospital scene is like in Florida, in Daytona Beach, but I mean, I've never been to a hospital over there, but maybe they have the same thing popping off where they don't have metal detectors and all that kind of stuff, but we don't know. But let's continue with this. Let me see. Shout out to Detective Butters. That's a nice name. Love your videos. Just graduated LPN last month and already to take the NCLEX. Your videos motivated me to finish it, man. I'm proud of you, bro. And shout out to all the people watching. Make sure y'all please hit that like button. That's how we growing this thing over here. Almost at 3,000 subscribers. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Shout out to Sean Don. Shout out to Detective Butter. Shout out to my lovely lady, DD Unlimited. Appreciate y'all for being here. Let's continue this joint. According to the police responding, officers said Gillen shot her husband, 77-year-old Jerry Gillen, and confined herself to his room. He was the only patient in the room, according to the police. Upon arrival, our officers were directed to the 11th floor, where they encountered an elderly female who had apparently shot her terminally ill husband. Now, well, let me just finish before I give my thoughts. Daytona Beach Police Chief Jakari Young said at a news conference, the Daytona Beach Police Department said an investigation revealed the couple from New, how you pronounce that? Simna Beach planned this weeks ago. They say the pair made a pact to go through with it. They unaliving, how do I say it on YouTube? Unaliving to herself and him. If the husband who was terminally ill continued to take a turn for the worse. So they made a pact, they made an agreement. They said, hey, listen, this is what this conversation was like. If you decide to get if you will not decide, but if you get terminally ill, if you take a turn for the worse, I want you to walk up in the hospital with a weapon and I want you to turn my lights out. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. I want you to walk into the hospital and turn my lights out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. This could have been a situation to where this lady's telling the truth. Black man, what's the deal? What's the deal, black man? Come on, come slide through, sir. We're going to be talking. I just got started. Let me put this link on for you. We're going to be talking about, hold up. I'm back. I done fell off for a minute, but I'm back. But anyway, and if you come up, I'm going to pull you up right after this. Give me like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. If you're going to come up, just let me know. But they could have made a pact, but I feel like this, and I'm not trying to promote any idea of anything. That's not what I'm doing. But I don't know if that was the smartest thing to do. I mean, why would you want to go out like that? And it's hard for me to really believe that this was honestly the pact that they made, because I mean, why would you want to bring that to that hospital where people are already sick? You have workers there that are trying to do their jobs. If they already under enough stress and enough pressure, and this woman and this gentleman allegedly decided to take matters into their own hands and do something like this. Do hospitals need more security? Is that going to have to be a thing? Is this going to be a trend? And that also brings up the whole situation with Dr. Kevorkian. Remember when Dr. Kevorkian was out here offing his patients? Brings up the conversation. Should hospice terminally ill patients be allowed to make that type of choice? That is a different conversation for another day. I just wanted to possibly spark that and see what y'all might think about that. But let's continue. It says apparently because I read that part. Said police say the plan had been for the husband to do the unaliving himself, but he was too weak. They got a call about the shooting around 11:30 a.m. Saturday, and it took hostage negotiators hours before the woman was taken into custody. Meanwhile, the surrounding rooms had to be cleared in what police called a bit of a logistical nightmare. Well, I can imagine. Hospitals are being overrun right now. Lack of staff. A whole bunch of sick patients. Emotions are already running high because people are sick. The staff is overworked. They're tired, ready to go home. Probably not getting paid adequately, especially down there in Florida. The pay for nurses in Florida is horrible. Absolutely awful in Florida. Anyway, I can only imagine them being a nightmare. It says because that 11th floor is made up of terminally ill patients. So pretty much all the patients that were on that floor are on ventilators, said Young said. Wow, that's crazy. He says they didn't have, like, why would you want to do that in a hospital, though? Seriously, if y'all did come up with a plan to do something like this, why would you want to bring that to a public hospital where people are trying to heal? That's why it's hard for me to believe that this was a pact that they made to execute this plan within a hospital. You feel me? Like, why would you want to traumatize other people? That's why it's hard for me to believe. Like, I don't believe this woman was in her right mind, because I believe anybody who was in their right mind would not have gone through with something like that. I think that's crazy. I think that's absolutely crazy. But it's just me. Um, hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, that's just me. So let me see. He said they didn't have room to evacuate the entire floor, but says Gillen never left the room where the shooting happened. An affidavit revealed that Gillen pointed the firearm at multiple witnesses and demanded they get out of the room. She never put the gun down, so she never specifically made a threat that she was going to shoot any of us, but she never put the gun down, Young said. So we will have to assume that, if we were to rush in there, we didn't effectively communicate that it could have turned into a shootout situation. So they used a device to distract her so she could drop the gun. It's called a flashbang that the SWAT team uses, Young said. They use it. It just makes a loud noise. It's like a pretty, so you're pretty familiar with that. So they threw it in a flashbang to distract her, and luckily it worked. When officers finally deployed a flashbang device into the room, Gillen fired a shot into the ceiling. Around 3 p.m. after negotiations, she was taken into custody. It's a tough situation. So her husband was terminally ill, and he was already in a depressed state just based on her being terminally ill and knowing that the end was near, Young said. It's a wild situation. Like, it's hard to say it's easier to say what you think people should do because you're not really in that situation. But I just think it's crazy, and I think it's selfish for you to invoke that trauma onto other people. You dig? I think it's absolutely crazy for you to invoke that trauma on other people and you put that trauma on other people. Now, those patients that were, alert and oriented, that nursing staff, the doctors, the whole hospital staff, like, come on. And now you're bringing all this press to this hospital. I just think it's just a bad situation all the way around. But yeah, so it's a whole thing. Let me see. I don't really want to watch the full news conference, but I just thought that was crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was absolutely crazy. But let's get into some other stuff. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, are y'all familiar with the show Family Matters? The 90s television show that I personally grew up on. I'm a big fan of Family Matters. Around that time, I was watching Family Matters, Martin, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I was a big fan of the show. Big fan. And seeing that I was a big fan of the show, obviously, one of the most popular characters on the show, Steve Urkel. Now, Steve Urkel was a young man who was infatuated with another young woman, with a young woman named Laura Winslow. Now, Steve Urkel is a nerd by all definitions of the term. Nerd, glasses, extremely smart, your stereotypical nerd, like cheese, polka music, nerd shit. He was infatuated with the girl named Laura. Now, Steve, he grew up on the show. He is somebody that I would consider an educated, highly intelligent young man. But I think a bigger question is, was Steve Urkel a simp? Was he a simp, ladies and gentlemen? I think that's a great question. Did he have game? Now, Steve Urkel was a very accomplished young man. He was super smart. Dude invented a time machine. Now, obviously, it's fiction, but Steve had a lot of accolades to his name. He was one of the smartest men in the country. I think he even saved the world from getting blown up or something like that. Went back in time, created a chamber that can alter your DNA and turn you into a whole nother person. Right? Now, on paper, Steve Urkel sounds like a great catch. He sounds like a great catch to me. You know? And he was infatuated with the woman named Laura Lee Winslow. You know, he will call her by his name. He will call her by her whole name. Laura Lee Winslow. And he loved Laura. He was infatuated. He was obsessed with Laura. You dig? Why wasn't Laura attracted to somebody who had the potential that Steve Urkel had? Why was that, ladies and gentlemen? And again, this is not a real thing. This is just, a show. But with Steve Urkel in 2023, a Steve Urkel, would he be a prototype for the passport bro? Would he be the spokesperson? Was Laura the modern woman of the 90s? Was she the modern day modern woman of the 90s? And was he the simp that was infatuated with the modern woman? Now let's take a look at Laura, right? Now, Laura on the show, she had various boyfriends throughout the show. And I do mean various boyfriends. She had a lot. Now, we're not going to just assume anything about Laura because that's all we can do, but we're not going to do that because we don't know. We really don't know. You dig? But Laura was not messing with Steve. He was not. Laura was not feeling Steve. I think that show ran for 10 seasons. And Laura wasn't having it. And I can show you evidence of some of Steve's simping, right? Matter of fact, let me show you some of the evidence that let me bring you up some footage of Steve simping for Laura. And I'm talking about major simping. And the more that I watch these shows from the 90s, there was a lot of simping going on in the 90s. I mean, it was a lot of simping in 90s R&B music. Now, that was fly though. It was fly, Babyface, I'll pay your rent. All that kind of stuff was popping off in the 90s. All that. And we loved it. We loved it. We had nothing against it. But was it I'm gonna put as Tariq Nasheed would say, my tinfoil kufi on for a minute. Was this programming a generation? Was this programming? Because as I watch some of these shows, you had, shows like this, Family Matters. You had The Cosby Show. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Heathcliff was a mega simp. I know y'all don't like to hear that. But he was. So hold on. Let's get into this. Hold on. Let me get this. Now around this time, They was about 12, 13, just to set it up for you. About 12, 13. Couldn't have been no more than that. And I want you to watch the level of simping that was going on. My guy, Teddy G, what's going on?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, Teddy, we talking about Steve Urkel, man. Was you a fan of the Family Matters show?
I was a fan, but I didn't care for Steve Urkel. I like the dad, Carl.
Okay. Now, Steve, I was just setting it up. I was talking about it. Steve did a lot of simping. He did a lot of simping, but I'm asking the people, was this intentional? Was this programming? Because it seems that the 90s, it was a lot of simping going on. Late 80s, early 90s, a lot of simping going on. And I remember a while ago, I said that Heathcliff Huxtable was a simp. He really was. And his wife, Claire Huxtable, dogged him. Nigga couldn't eat a sandwich without her permission. She talked to him crazy. You feel
Yeah,
me? So
yeah.
now, Ted, in this particular clip right here, I'm going to play it. And mind you, this is a 12, 13-year-old boy saying this stuff to this 12, 13-year-old girl. I want you to pay attention to this and let's analyze this real quick. Lord, did you hear that?
I heard him. I heard he. He said he's prepared to wait forever. Really,
He can't be no more 13, 14 on this clip.
if even that. At, at
Like
the
what?
most, yeah.
Now, why would they, and I get it, it's entertainment, it's comedy, it's funny, but at such a young age to be that smitten over, like, and I get it. We all had our grade school crushes and everything like that. But he talking about some I'll wait forever. Bruh,
It ain't
you
that
doing
serious,
too much.
man.
Ain't that
Because
shit?
because one thing about it, the woman, she's not gonna wait forever. Women's give you a deadline. Hey, if it ain't done in 6 months, I'm out.
Right.
But but she gonna want you. Nah, he said he gonna wait forever now.
Okay.
But
Now,
it not to cut you off. If you really think about it, during that era, like you was saying, a lot of the shows that went on then, it was a lot of simping going on.
mhm.
You know, during that era, like you said, the Huxtable. The only show that I can think about that really wasn't portrayed as simping was probably Good Time.
Good times.
Good Times.
Man, she was the reason that he died.
Wait a
Good times. And that's
what?
crazy because that's another show that Drina ruined for me because
Oh no.
because I never noticed it, but she was the reason they stayed broke.
Well, okay.
She was the reason that they was in poverty. She was the reason that a lot of stuff, and that was another show that she ruined for me. I'm like, dang.
Oh, James.
Then on top of that, she was a 4 at best. On a scale of 1 to 10, she was a 4 at best. And then going through all that, no. Yeah, she was no, thank you.
Wow.
Let, let's
Wow.
let's break the rest of this clip down. Hold on 1 second.
Wow.
What you think about that?
And ain't no way he took his money for his stay away fund that people kept him away and spent $800 at the age of 13 years old.
And just think about
No.
this, man. We had shows like Boy Meets World. You know what I'm saying? And I'm super young, like around this time. When this episode right here, I was probably about 4, maybe 3. And I really like the show. I'm thinking Steve Urkel funny and all that kind of stuff. Now imagine this, like something like this could have influenced a whole generation of young men to
It
go
probably did.
right. And Steve said, he said $800. And Laura wasn't feeling him at all.
What is that? He holding a box of chocolate in his hand? Or is that? Oh, okay, no, no. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry. That's the couch on the pillow. Okay, that's pillow on the couch. Okay, $800 a lot of money back then, man.
It's I mean, shoot, $800. I'll take it right now.
Hey, that's half of a cruise almost, right?
Man, right? I'm trying to tell you.
But $800 of his fund for somebody that don't have a chance on this earth to get with the girl of his dreams.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But let's check this out. Let's finish. Now they gonna play that sad music. He finna be all sad walking away.
A lot of brothers have taken that walk of shame.
And this
A
is what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
brothers.
And Steve is a young, intelligent, educated brother. You dig? And this is it. And just to see him simping like this, you
It,
dig?
oh, man.
I mean,
But
that
like,
could have been a whole generation of young men coming up. Not saying that it's not a good thing to be affectionate, showing somebody how you feel,
you gotta
but
know your limit though.
to be this young at that age, doing that kind of stuff, I just think it was overboard. But it's crazy because, like I said, I've told my simp story before. You know what I'm saying? I'm 10, 11 years old writing Michael Jackson lyrics to a girl that I had a crush on, talking about some helpless, hopeless, how you make me feel, and all that kind of stuff at 10 and 11 years old. Now, imagine if I would have kept going in that direction. Imagine if I didn't have a father to be like, nigga, what is wrong with you? You tripping, doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
I think we all done been there.
Yeah.
We
So,
all done been there. Yep.
I mean, I'm glad that because this could have been bad. And mind you, I had made a post earlier. It took Steve 9 years to clap lower. 9 years. 9 years. And it took
That's
Stefan one night.
expensive, man.
It took Stefan one night. One night. Took Steve 9 years, took Stefan one night.
Man, wow.
Let's finish this. Let's finish this real quick.
But that's a powerful message, though.
Laura, I know I'm not worthy of you, but I just can't help loving you.
He
Mm-mm,
said,
mm-mm.
I know I'm not worthy of you.
No, no.
Ted, what would
Um,
you do if you heard your son say something like this to a girl?
man, I will grab him by his shirt collar and say, "We need to talk. We need to talk, cause you about ready to go broke."
He said, I know I'm not
Dylan,
worthy of you.
I'm. He said, "I know I'm not worthy of you, but I'm in love with you. The worst thing you can do is try to get with a woman that don't want you." If I ever heard my son say that, we gonna have a serious talk. Like, man, look, my dad had to, sit down and talk to me and basically tell me, don't, he wasn't advocate, but he said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because we all done been there. You met that girl that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you thinking you in love, and really you're getting, you know, you just being laughed at.
And this is what I'm saying. And this is why I made the show based on our professional black men under attack, because I feel like it almost seems as though the professional, educated black man has for decades has been portrayed as the nerd, has been portrayed as the guy who couldn't get girls, the
Hmm.
guy who got everybody else's leftovers. So I started researching, and I'm just like, okay, it almost seemed like it was almost a handicap to be smart, educated, somebody who was enthusiastic about learning and being in the books. It almost seemed like it was a handicap to a certain degree. It almost seemed as though it was something it was to be laughed at. And it's
Yeah,
been like that for a long time. I seen guys when I was coming up getting chased home. That somebody that you would consider a typical nerd getting chased home. So that is why I asked the question: are professional black men under attack? Have they been under attack? And I would say so for a long time. But let's finish this. Hold on, real quick.
It's like wanting to touch a star. You know you'll never reach it, but you've just got to keep trying.
Wait a minute. Okay. He's saying, I know I would never reach it, but I have to keep trying.
Gotta keep trying, man.
But when see, there's a thin line between insanity and stupidity.
Let's run that back one more time.
But I just can't help loving you.
Oh my God,
It's like
Steve,
wanting
come
to
on,
touch
get
a
a grip.
star. You know you'll never reach it, but you've just got to keep trying. But I just can't help loving you. It's like wanting to touch a star. You know you'll never reach it, but you've just got to keep trying.
But you know what, CJ? Not to cut. If you think about this show, man, almost every guy on there shows simp tendencies.
Oh yeah.
Carl
Oh
did.
yeah.
Carl was a simp because he to me he was a pushover. Then you had Steve. Then what was the other cat on there?
Trina talking about
Wendell,
Steve.
huh?
Didi talking about post Steve. Oh man, it was an episode where this dude Steve had dug in garbage to to find. He went to a landfill to go find a doll for Laura. A doll. Dug in garbage and still didn't get no play.
He was trying to find her doll or just a doll
Her doll, that some doll her grandma gave her,
that got
and
tossed by mistake.
yeah,
Lord have mercy.
yeah, it was a doll with one eye, and he had to go to the garbage dump to get it
But still find one night.
one night. He ain't go looking for no doll.
He didn't buy no ring.
He ain't had to do none of that.
I don't think he came out of pocket at all, did he?
Heck, you know what? Heck, you know. Stuff I wasn't coming out no pocket. And why should he have? What coming out no pocket?
Oh boy. And nerds don't. Nerds don't stand a chance, man.
So and that was the thing, man. And then I'm gonna get into I'm gonna get into the real thing I wanted to discuss. I wanted to talk about, and I use Steve as an example because Steve being the man that he was, it took him 9 years to even to smell it. You did what I'm saying? Steve had to damn near die. You know what I'm saying? Because he was going up into space and trying to stop something, and then that's when she realized that, oh, I love him and all that kind of stuff. Dude had to be on a brink of death for her to realize it.
Had to eliminate his existence for her to say she loved him.
Right. So all that stuff he was going through, you know what I'm saying, for her. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I feel like that was a message that was really sent throughout the 90s.
Right.
Not saying that it was anything wrong with being romantic towards your chick and all that kind of stuff. And oh my God, man, why did she just bring up this example? She said all them shows turned men into simps. Alvin wasn't one at first, or Kenny, but they finally turned them into one on the Cosby Show. That's a fact.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was saying a lot of them shows. Now, I understand what you're saying about Good Times. I saw James as, he was kind of protected, but now that you say that,
but James wasn't no simp. He just had an awful wife. She was just a horrible human.
James.
I
That
think
is
then they
true.
found some money. They found some money and hit the lottery, and she told him to take it back or something like that.
She didn't want him to get ahead.
Yeah, she was his big, and then she run off with another man after he died or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she ran with another man, left the kids in the ghetto by themselves. You're right.
she, she was an awful human, an awful human being. So
Man.
I'm gonna play this clip from last night because we did a show last night, and a clip from Umar Johnson. And again, this whole thing started with me because I wasn't feeling what he said about the educated black man. Were you
I
for?
was not either. I was not either. I seen that on YouTube, and when he said that, I totally disagree with him.
And I had a problem with that because, like I said, there's men who work very, very hard. But I feel
Hmm.
like now the attack on professional black men is coming from all angles because you got one side to where they seen as nerds and somebody who's always in the books. Then you got the conscious side. Oh well, it's your fault if you don't wife up single mothers and you don't want to be stepfathers. You know, that kind of
Man,
stuff.
that sound like the other cat, Boyce Watkins.
Yep.
He said that, man.
And he wifed up a woman with 3 kids. Three.
See, now
She didn't want him when
go ahead.
she was in her prime.
Right.
But after the dude that she really wanted said, nah, enough's enough. And I ain't got no problem with Umar or Boyce. I actually really like Umar. And a lot of the stuff he says, I agree with. Not all of it. And clearly this is one of them. But I'm just like, bruh.
He did. Okay, what he said is just like you said. What he said, the reason why it was so many single black females when he had made that point about how in your prime you want to run around with the jocks and play with
Right.
them and stuff, and then now you want to come back after you got kids. Now you're looking for a good man, and the brothers that ain't with that. But yes, that I agree with that point. But when he talked about the professional black men or role models, I didn't agree with that, man. I
Right.
really didn't, because if that's the case, as I've always said, where's the fathers?
Right. So this is what for the people who may not know,
Black mother. I'm more than the single black mother. I'm blaming the professional black man. There's nothing a single mother can do wrong in that house, raising the sons or the daughters, where I'm going to fault her more than a professional black man for abandoning the black community. If you
let me stop that right there because I'm really getting sick of this narrative that once you become successful and you do what you're supposed to do, and when you move to a different place, people want to say you've abandoned the black
Right,
community. I'm really
right.
tired of that. And I think that's probably what irritated me more than anything because people say, well, you a sellout. You've worked hard to be a truck driver, you've built your own business, and now you live in a nice area that's not impoverished, regardless of what color you are. Because if it was a impoverished area with Chinese people or Caucasian people, I wouldn't want to be there neither. I don't want to be in no area that's impoverished. So that's the irritating part about that. You take our success and our hard work, like somebody just said here, and gave it to us on a mantle when that's not the case. People don't see the hours of studying and work and grinding and sacrifice. And for you to say, well, it is your fault because you left the quote unquote black community, I feel like you wrong for that. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. You know, if I can work hard, or if you can work hard to become a successful nurse, a successful entrepreneur, engineer, whatever, why is it my responsibility to go back and help those, and half the ones in the impoverished area don't want to be helped? Because you can look at examples of things that have happened, and you just shake your head, and sometimes you have to let people go. Now that may not be the case for everybody, but if I'm up grinding all night, even when I was in engineering school and I was studying and studying and studying, and people used to make the comment, "Hey, when you become that rich engineer, don't forget me." Why should I reach back and help you when you're not doing nothing yourself to help yourself?
And it's not like you saying, "Hey, man, what are you doing to get ahead? Maybe I can pick up some game from you." You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's more so, hey, um, hey, look out for me, bruh. Just
right,
look
right.
out, man.
And
Dude. I had a conversation with my girl, and it's like sometimes, like people have made me not like talking on the phone because, and a lot of times when I get phone calls, it's always asking for something.
mhm,
I'm like, I'm almost traumatized by the phone because
they
it's
want a
like
handout.
somebody gonna ask me for something. I'm gonna ask me for something every week. Somebody got a problem, and I get it. People go through things, but you got grown men that are not physically ill, that are not
Right,
mentally handicapped.
right,
And I've heard grown men say, "I ain't going back to work. I don't feel like it." And
right.
they'll call you and be like, "Oh well, hey nephew, can I get $100?" What?
Oh, I quit because they made me work on my birthday. What?
Right.
I've heard that excuse. A guy told me he quit. Dude got hired on by the railroad. The railroad made six-figure income, and they made him work. Now you know what you're getting into. Okay, you're on call. And they made him work on his birthday, and he went in the next day and quit.
Mm,
Man, really?
mm. And that's what I don't understand. Like, man, people, and I get so frustrated, Ted, because I know people see on YouTube, they see the trips, they see me talking about the fly side of nursing and everything like that. And I give them the bad too. But a lot of people don't understand the blood, sweat, and tears. And out of anybody who I thought could understand that, I would thought would be a person like Umar, who has been trying to build a school for black children for a decade now. And no, I'm not discouraging. I'm not crapping on the work that he's done. I know some things take time. So I would never say that, I would never discredit him in that area because that takes blood, sweat, and tears. But for you to say because you are an educated brother and you left the quote unquote black community and you don't want to be obligated to being a step parent, you're wrong. You're the reason that the community is in shambles.
Hmm.
I thought that was absolutely absurd.
I agree with you, but you know what? And I'm not defending him. I know probably why he said that.
Why you think he
Be-
said that?
because he had did a YouTube video and he was talking about that he was trying to build a school and he was not getting the support from the community. And he said, well, we had to step outside and go outside the race and go to the white people to get the support. So the fact that he didn't get that support to help him build that school, it's like he's blaming people that don't want to help support him to build a school to be the role model for the young black men.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
when he said that, it's like and for him to say it's the professional black man's fault. How is that possible?
The men who
That's
protected they seed, the men who not running around getting every woman that they see pregnant,
right.
the men that values their seat and value their business and value their time and invested time, energy, and effort, sacrifice birthdays, holidays, vacations, all that, all types of stuff. And just because I want to
Hmm.
move to a place that I consider peaceful, then it's my
Safe for
fault
your family.
it's my fault the community in shambles.
No,
I
no,
thought he was very
man.
reckless when he said that because he said he feels that the black community don't have role models. Role models. How easy is it to turn on a YouTube computer or a computer and watch YouTube and see all types of role models on there?
There's role models all across the board, and not just sports figures. You have black doctors and lawyers. One of the black surgeons, Dr. Ben Carson, back when he was a surgeon. You have black politicians. You have black judges. There's positive role models all across the scope.
And that's what
You
I'm saying.
know,
That's what bothered me. But let me finish playing this clip.
You notice most black men of means, they have moved out. They have abandoned black boys.
Okay, now let's talk about that. He said most black men of men means have moved out. Let me tell you something, man. And I said this yesterday. When you are in a place of poverty, regardless of what race you are, and people know that you're winning, and people know that you have it, and people know that you are a man or woman of means.
hmm
I don't care what anybody says. You, sir or ma'am, become a target, whether you like it or not. This is not a black thing. This is a human nature thing.
it's a human nature thing, right? Right.
It's not a black thing. I would never. That's like going to the lion's den with a steak. You do not come into a place. Listen, birds of a feather flock together.
Every
In,
day.
in order to elevate, I need to be around individuals who are on the same type of program that I'm on. And I can't keep pulling up people who don't want to be pulled up. I think that is a lot of successful black people's biggest problem. Nipsey Hussle got killed in his own hood. Young Dolph got killed in his own hood. So many people have gotten killed and robbed and shot and stabbed in their own neighborhoods, trying to quote unquote stay down or be in the quote unquote community, give back. And sometimes you got to worry about you got to put yourself first. Ain't no sometimes, it's at all times. What you think?
Charity starts at home. I I say this and I drill home. Even with my brothers, they're successful black men. I'm successful, but why? Number one, you don't owe the hood anything. You don't owe nobody nothing but yourself. You the one that grind and was able to get ahead in life, and because of your hard work, you want to enjoy the finer things in life. And even when I became successful as a truck driver, I had to really stop telling certain people my business, because people that has not been through the walk that you're going through, people that has not experienced what you're going through, they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you do become a target. You become you know, a ATM. I was an ATM. Ask Teddy for money.
Mm.
ATM, no. And people just don't understand. I'm not a bank. I work hard. I went to engineering school. Even after engineering school, I decided corporate America wasn't for me, and you know, looked at trucking. I drove trucking before school, and I went back. And if I can go trucking, it is not a hard gig. In 3 weeks, you can be a first seat driver. Within a year of trucking, or even sooner than that, you can buy your own truck and be making six figures a year.
Right.
But
And,
some people don't want to put in the work. But yeah, when you become successful, you're gonna have to let people go.
and that's a fact. I've heard several people say that. Several people who are successful say that. And to me, that just what he said don't make sense. But I'm gonna let this flip.
Real quick,
Even
look at MC Hammer. Look what happened to him. He
When
was
broke,
trying to thank you, trying
went
to
broke.
help everybody out, and you went broke. And when you went broke, where was they at? Where's
Not
everybody at?
not rapping a lyric,
Nope.
not rapping a bar, not doing none of that. Not doing none of that. Not rapping a lyric, not rapping a bar, not just hanging there. And that's a bad habit that we have too. Just having people around who don't do nothing. If I'm that successful like that, nigga, you're gonna have to go to work. You're not just gonna be hanging because we cool. I love you. I can love you from a distance. So either you're gonna become an employee, but I can't just have you just hanging just to hang. That don't make sense to me. I
I
can't
can
just
hang by myself.
right. Exactly. You sure can. You can do that by yourself. Facts. Oh,
Even if his father is not in the home, that should not be an automatic introduction to the school to prison pipeline. Is we don't have enough men who stay in the black community to serve as role models to the young brothers who are still there. I don't blame the rappers. I blame professional black men.
so why don't he blame the rappers? They ain't staying. As hood as
Nope.
they are, and as hood as they claim to be, them rappers not living in the hood. Them rappers is in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm. Some of them out in deeper in the country and they own property.
Yeah.
Yep.
Them men are in the suburbs, away from it. They may come
But
down every now and then, but you best believe they ain't. They not in there. You best believe it.
if if he's gonna blame the black men, don't blame the black professional men that is trying to do something for their family or have a life. Blame the black men that's not in the home as fathers and being role models.
Exactly. But again, it's guys like me and you because we not spending every waking moment trying to knock on people's doors saying, "Hey, wake up! This is the way we can do this. Let me go knock on this door. Let me go knock on that door. Oh, you don't want to do it? Why not? Why not? Why not?" Listen, I'm not finna beg nobody
No, nope.
to
First,
change their life.
first of all, it's hard to get unity among us. First of all, for
Yeah.
some reason, we are the most disorganized people that's on the face of this earth. I don't know why, but it's sad.
It really is sad. So I just hold on. Let me finish this clip. Let me finish this clip.
Who have abandoned the black community for a life in the suburb, even if he has a black wife.
So he's still wrong, even if he got a black wife. He's still out of pocket. He's still wrong.
I disagree with that. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And Umar was saying this stuff about men not wanting to be stepfathers. And again, if you and I'm gonna keep saying it, if you are a single man with no children, I do not advise you to get with a woman who has children. I have nothing against that. Nothing against them. But I'm telling you, that is not how you should start off, in my opinion. As a young man with no listen, you are not you do what you want to do, but you are not obligated. That's the problem I have, because he makes it seem like, oh well, you successful, so you need to be wifing up one of these single moms out here. And again, I don't have nothing against it, but to me, you're sending the wrong message when you say things like that. What do you think?
Right. I agree. I, Dr. Umar sometimes he contradicts himself. You know,
Fact.
he says stuff and then he'll turn around and say something that contradicts something he said before. But I agree. If you are a single man, especially a single black man, go start your own family with a woman that has no children. You know. Now, if my kids are grown, and hey, I'm knocking on 50 years old, and I'm engaged
Right.
to a woman that has a daughter. That's
Right.
not a problem. But if I was 20, 30 years old, I would not go and wife up a woman with 3 kids because, you know, you ain't gonna never be dad. you know, you know, you just the one paying the bills. And and there's gonna come the day that they're gonna say you ain't my daddy.
Oh man.
Because they don't have that biological bond there. And I see so many brothers get involved. I mean, man, there was a guy I knew, he had married a woman with 2 kids, and then when they got divorced, the judge tried to make him pay child support for 2 kids that wasn't his. This is the honest to God truth. And the lawyer had to fight that because she was asking for child support, and the judge was going to give it to her, and those was not his biological kids.
It's a bad deal all the way around. And again, ladies, I'm not my ladies with kids. I'm not saying that you bad people. I'm not saying none of that. But what I am saying is that you, if a man has no children and he's young with no children and he's successful, in most cases, he is already walking into a situation where there's already a liability at stake.
Hmm.
Even if when you're dealing with that, what if the parent had, what if the girl has an active father? So now you have to build a rapport with the father. Can you discipline a child? Can you not? And I'm not knocking it, but I told Drina, I said, if me and you have a baby, and heaven forbid it didn't work out, your dating life is over. until the kid grown, it's over. You're done out here,
You gonna put her on restriction, man, for 18, 15 years,
bro.
man.
If me and her didn't work out and we had a child together, bro, it's done. I'm gonna do everything in my power
Right,
to
right. Okay.
sabotage every relationship she may get into because I don't want any other man around my child. I'm one of those. I will be one of those.
Well, man, you guys suck it up and make it work between you and Drina.
That's what I'm saying. And it's good. I'm just saying. But I told her, I said straight up, listen, if we have a baby, we better just work this out. At least for the next 18 years.
That
Cause yo,
means that means even if you gotta sleep on the couch for 18 years,
because at that point it ain't about us.
it's
It's
about the
about
child.
it's about the child.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
my kid not growing up in no two parent, I mean in no single
Three
parent
parent.
household. We not doing all that. Your dating
Right.
life is over. You're stuck.
What was her reply?
She ain't really say nothing. She was like, and I'm like, I hope you don't think I'm playing. I'm as serious as colon cancer. I will do everything in my power to sabotage every relationship you get in. And I'm not playing. Like I'm so serious because people is weirdos now.
You're
You know what
right.
I'm
You're
saying?
right.
It's not a lot of dudes out there like you and my stepdad and everything like that. It is
Yeah.
real weirdos out here.
And it don't matter if it's a girl or boy, a son or daughter, because you got men's looking at boys and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm like, it's over. Like I told her, I said, man, look, you can try to date if you want to. Ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna tell them.
Dream,
I'm gonna
dream.
tell them. I'm gonna do whatever. Come up to your job, little job, blowing a horn and everything like that.
See, Jacob.
I'm gonna find. Oh man, I'm telling you, just either
I
don't,
I believe you. I believe you.
bro. I'm so serious because I'm not gonna play when it come to my kid. Cause I'll be dang to have my kid come to me talking about something. He spanked me. What? What? I can't like if I had a daughter. Oh my god, man, her life would be a living hell. She would hate me. She would hate me. She couldn't have no other dude around. Other my daughter. What?
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
every man ain't like that. I know. I know. It's some great men out there that take care of other men's kids. But I'm just saying, I would, if she got pregnant, I would just advise her to stick this thing out and see it through to they 18, or at least until they 16, till they can talk.
But by the time she 18, now she in the bracket that ain't nobody gonna want to date her now, man.
Well, no, she fine. So I'm sure somebody will want to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, she'll
Trina,
be a
don't
little
get
older.
pregnant.
But I'm just saying, like if she was to get pregnant today, I we better just work it out. Cause
Well,
I'll be that guy.
it sounds like y'all got some seriously talking to do before y'all get, before
Oh,
y'all
we already talked
get
about it.
pregnant.
We don't want kids, but I just let her know that if it ever happens, just
Trina
know.
don't want any kids.
No, we don't want kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, we trying to travel this world and we trying to.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, man.
we just, kids is beautiful for the people that want them, but we good. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like I see what I'm good. I'm just good, man. And I can't do it, man. It's not for me. But my mama, she be on my head. She be like, I want a grandbaby.
She wants some grandbabies, man. She wants some grandbabies.
Better holler at my brother. She better holler at my brother. Real talk.
She want a grandbaby from both of you all. One from him and one from you, man. Come on. You gotta have a little CJ Cows running around,
She better get a cat or adopt. Because that's easy to say. I want a grandparent. You can send a grandchild. You can send them home.
Right.
I'm not knocking it, man. It ain't for me.
I'd rather be granddaddy than daddy.
Right. I can't imagine chasing no little kid around no cruise ship. Daddy. Can I get some tokens? Some tokens. I ain't got time for that mess. But what do you think? So, Ted, we got this whole thing too with men going overseas now. And that's why I wanted to bring up Steve Urkel, because a lot of guys say that the men who are educated, they call them educated lames. They call them lames with no game and all that kind of stuff. And I actually saw a broadcast from a man named Phil Scott last night, a man who's making, and I know money's not everything. It's not everything, but a man who's making $260,000 a year is an extremely driven individual, somebody who wakes up every morning focusing on their purpose. And we have this whole thing about game. And I understand. No, I mean, I get it. But when a man gets to that level in his career and that level in his finances, why should game have to be involved? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just asking a question. I've never had a problem dating black women or any kind of woman.
Right.
But for the brothers who do, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of brothers who say they do have a problem attracting the females. So, and people say, oh, it's lack of game. But why should a man have to play that game? On top of, and people say good ain't good enough. Clearly it's not. And clearly it's not. He has put himself in the 1% tax bracket of all men. And he has to go. And the fact that he has to leave this country to potentially find a wife after reaching the accolades that he reached, why should there have to be game involved? You feel me?
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. I'm gonna run this clip. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring this up too. And shout out to Phil Scott. I rock with Phil. He's a good brother. I like him. So I want you to listen to this real quick.
Dr. Umar Johnson is a conundrum. I'm not going to make a personal attack on him. In moments of clarity, Dr. Umar Johnson can be very insightful, but then he gives a whole diatribe about, professional brothers being is the reason why whatever our sisters are experiencing with their experience. That is probably one of the most asinine things. I consider myself a professional brother, and in my circle of friends are professional brothers, and I'm the lowest earner in my professional group, and I earn over just a little bit north of $260K. And let me tell you something: us professional, our sisters have turned their backs on us for whatever reason.
Talk to them. Talk to me about that. How they turn their back on y'all?
For whatever reason, they view how we move is somehow not exciting. They get this preconceived notion that we ain't got no diesel power in the bedroom, which is a damn lie. You know what I mean? And they don't believe that we can provide them any kind of stimulation or anything. But when they destroy their formative years, which I'm now 45 years old, and I got these sisters now coming in with these teenagers or preteen kids, and now they're starting to understand a little bit. Just even now they want us to rescue. I was out recently.
All right. So he said he felt like sisters turned their backs on him. Now, this is kind of the fence that I'm on. I'm on the fence with this because I do understand about a woman not wanting to be bored. You dig what I'm saying? You have to bring some sort of excitement. And he's saying that a lot of females will look at him as well, sisters will look at him as being boring or would assume that he's boring and don't have diesel power and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they get this perception of him from the way he talks, or maybe from the way he looks, or whatever the case may be. Maybe he's not a flashy dude with the jury or swag and all that type of stuff. That's that a lot of women like and gravitate to. And I get that part. You know what I'm saying? A little excitement, clean yourself up, get faded real good, smell good, cologne, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that is necessary. I feel like upkeep and maintenance is very important.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I understand the plight of the passport bros, because I'm not saying that they should have to do no work to get a quality woman. But when a man works that hard to be that successful, why are the game? Like, people say, okay, you need game. I get that. But why does a man like this have to play games? And people will say, well, overseas, they just want you for your money and all that kind of stuff. And you do too here. What's the difference?
That's
so
true.
you want a broke man? I mean, I don't know. What you think, Ted?
I agree with the statement that a lot of the women over here have turned they backs on us. I used to talk to women, and I asked them, why, back in the day, why you didn't give me a chance, and some of them say stuff like, well, I didn't date fat guys because you couldn't last in the bedroom, or I didn't date you because you was nerdy. But then as time has progressed, even because even okay, so you got the older women that's going after the younger guys, and that has the label of cougars, and then you have the younger women that just want the attention that a lot of the older guys may not have time to give. Think about this, CJ. If you are a 1% earner, you're in the 1% of that, and you're making $200,000 a year, 6 figures a year. Number one, you have a very strict responsibility on you. You got to go to work. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, or even if you work in corporate America, and you're making 6 figures a year. Now, after I get done dealing with that, I got to come home and deal with the cares of you as a woman. You want me to sit, you want to talk to me, you want to nag me, this and that. There's a lot there. When you in the 1%, or you making 6 figures a year, sometimes you want somebody that's equally yoked, and somebody that I can talk to that's on that level. Why I can't go out and meet a successful entrepreneur woman that has her own business, sometimes that we can relate to. But by the flip side of that coin, a woman that's an entrepreneur, a lot of times she don't have time to go date a man. You know, she doesn't want the brother that's already self-made. A lot of times they go get a man that's not self-made because that's somebody that they can control, make and mold into what they want him to be. And see, and then she settles and he settles. So the guys that's the 1% that don't have a chance, hey, they look elsewhere. And back when I was younger, we call it mail order brides. They have actual conventions where guys would go overseas and they will meet these people and sit down, and just like here, they would talk to them. The reason why a lot of successful men will go over there and
Keep
get them
going, Ted.
kind
I'm
of,
listening. I gotta plug this up. Keep going.
oh yeah. The reason why a lot of men will go over there and get the mail order brides or the catalog women's is because a lot of times you're getting someone that has came from nothing, and they want something, and they're willing to submit. Unlike a lot of our women over here in America, they're
Mm,
willing to submit.
mm. So let me, because, and this is how I know it's not always a money thing, because there are plenty of women over here, and again, not just black women. I'm talking about women in general.
Right,
There are
right.
plenty of women over here that get pregnant by broke men every day.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. It's not always a money thing. You're right. You're right.
You know, that don't have two nickels to rub together. And I just think it's an interesting dynamic, because I think when you take things like that into consideration, this is what makes guys like him on the video frustrated, because sometimes, and that's why I say I see both sides, because sometimes men like him feel like I shouldn't have to go through all that. My status and my accolades should be enough. And I'm upset with Pookie and Ray Ray. This is why I don't blame Pookie and Ray Ray, because for a lot of stuff, but they feel like, well, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to have game. I shouldn't have to have swag. You should
Right.
take me as I am, because you'll let quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray come up and do what he does to you, and he'll
Hmm.
come up and he'll smash and dash with no problem. But you see a guy like me, a 1% earner, one of the top earners in the country, and I gotta go through hoops. You dig what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree. I really wish we had a female on the show, but you're right because I specifically know a young lady. She used to date this guy, and the guy basically is a bum.
Hmm.
He'll be over her house a majority of the time, and me and her was friends, and they were smashing. He'll go to jail, he'll get out. He was a bum. He didn't want nothing out of life, wasn't trying to pursue nothing out of life. But you would turn around and call me and ask me for money to go buy your baby Pampers. To help you pay a bill when he was just there smashing.
Mm.
So I never understood why, but when I asked certain females, a woman will say, "Well, I only needed him for the D."
Mm.
But you come ask me for the money, and a brother, like me, I didn't have a chance on you giving me the time of day. So I guess you needed me for the money, you needed him for the D, and God knows whatever else. I
Mm.
never I never understood that. And see, this is one thing why when Steve Harvey came out with that book, um, or when he told the joke, but even the joke was powerful and it was true. He said, "I'm gonna show you how to put together four men to make you one good man." He said, "You go get the mandingo for the six. Then you go get the gay man, somebody that you can talk to. Then it was two other men. Women literally took him seriously when he told that joke.
Mm.
You get four men to put them together to make one man. So in a way, like the brother on her, when he come along, a man that's self-made, he's in the 1%. He got stuff going for himself. You know, he don't have a chance when, in dating women.
Do you think it's a physical thing?
In in some cases, yes. I think it's a yes. I can
Mm.
see it as being a physical thing. Think about it. Nowadays, it's really not all about money. Now, back in the 80s, it might be about money. But nowadays, you have so many women that's professionally employed, self-made, that make their own money. The only thing that a woman would tell you that she need a man for is, intimacy.
Right.
I
Right.
remember the woman that she was a professional bank manager or even a vice president would drive 45 minutes to go pick up the bum, bring him
Mm,
back to her house.
mm.
They'll do what they do, and she let them know you ain't spending the night. Turn around, drive 45 minutes back, and then turn around, drive 45 minutes back home. You just spent 3 hours, 3 hours to drive to go get this bum that basically, you know, did what he did. So if a woman only needs a man, if a self-made woman, and let's put her up there, she's making 6 figures, she's professionally employed, she works in corporate America, she has everything that she needs except the intimacy from a man. So when she meets a man that's self-made, she doesn't need him because she's not trying to be in his shadow. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? He's self-made, she's self-made. He makes 6 figures, she makes 6 figures. Now, somebody like myself, even though I'm engaged with somebody, let's use me for example. Somebody like me, a woman may look at me and say, "Oh, he's fat, he's chubby,
Mhm.
he can't last in the bedroom." So what do? They go get Pookie and Ray Ray. Hell, they just got out of jail, so they ain't got nothing but time to work on their D game. Other than that, she's settled and she's self-made everywhere else.
Mm,
So when you got the professional guys like the gentleman that was just on there, then what do? They start looking elsewhere for companionship because
mm.
there's a lot of women that would tell you, "I don't need a man. I don't even want a man." Now, back, I mean, the tables have truly changed from when I came up, when I was dating.
So it seems like a lot of dudes who may be in that situation, who make a lot of money, who are not
Hmm.
getting the companionship. And this isn't just, and first of all, with this passport bro thing, I want to just say that this is nothing new. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, white men
It's
have been
been going
doing
on.
this
Yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
decades. This is nothing new. It's just
It
we
got a
always
different name.
right. We always late to shit. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right. Oh
like,
yeah.
I mean, and brothers been doing this for decades too. Now it's just becoming popular. But
Hmm.
again, they feel that you have dudes who going over there who may be the unattractive guy, who may be the nerd, who may be the educated lame. They're going overseas now, and they may not have no game. And maybe they don't want to learn game. They feel like they shouldn't have to learn game because they are so successful. And now you have women from other countries and they're saying that, okay, well, come on over here. We don't care about how you look.
Hmm.
We don't care about game. We just know that you're a provider and this is what we want. And then the argument from the women who are upset with the passport bros, they'll say, well, they just want you for your money. And I say, that is a weak ass argument. And I'm not even a passport bro, but I understand the plight of it. And that is a weak argument to use because when you listen to a lot of the music today, I want a scammer. If he ain't got no money, he ain't doing nothing for me. I need a 6-figure dude, blah, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah, blah. I won't talk to a dude making average money. So how is that any different than what the foreign women are saying that they want?
The foreign
Because a lot of the
woman,
guys, go ahead. What you about to say?
the foreign woman is willing to submit.
Mm,
See,
mm,
unlike a lot of the American women, they're willing to submit. And you know what? And even if they want you for your money, or they're trying to become American citizens, hell, a lot of times the fact that that can be a match made in heaven, but over here I have to jump through so many hoops and fight so many pre-stereotypes when it comes to dating women,
mm,
because there is competition, and there's competition among men and women, but for some reason, and let's just be honest, nerdy guys, fat guys, a lot of times women don't give us the time of day. If you have a certain occupation, they don't give you the time of day. You
mm,
know, that's just the way it is.
mm,
And a woman, a lot of times, a woman that's established and that's older in life, that's let's take a woman that's like 40 years old, and she has a daughter.
mm.
You think she gonna go go date somebody that's working at McDonald's? I'm
Mm,
not bashing McDonald's, but I'm just saying she's looking from income because why? She has a daughter, she has more responsibility, she has more needs, and she has more financial responsibility that she has to cover. She's
mm,
older now, so she ain't looking at the guys as that's working at McDonald's. Now if she's self-made and she's making the six figures and she's professionally employed, hell, she may be looking at him. Why? Because he's tall and slender, and she only needs one thing.
mm. So it's pretty much where the female may be in her life because just like the brother in
Right.
the video said, he said these women will come back to him older and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll come back with a bunch of kids. And
Mm-hmm.
when they've given the streets their best years, then they want to come to him to be saved.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm looking for a good husband.
Mm.
And you got three kids. And Dr. Umar proved that point. He said when you was in your 20s and 30s, you was clubbing, you was running to the clubs, you was hanging out with you knew that man was not husband potential. He didn't have a chance in hell, and you knew you wasn't gonna husband him up, but you liked the attention that he was giving you. It was all about attention. He made you feel special. He put you first, but you knew that he was not
He got
husband
her wet.
material.
Let's keep it real. He got
Right.
her wet. Yeah.
He got her wet, right. But as now you didn't got pregnant, one kid, two kids. Now you in your 40s and you got the younger competition. Now all the young girls coming up here, and then now the guy that was giving you attention is starting to look at them because they nice and perky and got that smooth skin, and you starting to get a couple of wrinkles and cracks in you. Now with two kids and you got a couple of miles on you, now you want to come run back and say, oh, hey, I always liked you. Now you want a good man, you want a husband.
Mm.
After you didn't gave yourself to the streets.
Mm. So you saying at that point, you might as well just fly overseas. At least their intentions is up front.
Right. So now in my age, I can go overseas and give me a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old.
Mm.
Why do I need you why do I want you when you're coming with baggage and financial responsibility? Why?
Man, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really heavy. And
I mean, think about it. The roles change and they reverse. And when 20s and 30s, I'm chasing you. Now 30s and 40s, you chasing me.
mm. But see, I think I think that's a lot of the pushback. And that's why a lot of the passport bros are upset because they feel that they're only needed or wanted when Didi talking about, hey, I always like you. Hey, big head. They feel like they're only needed and wanted when they've given their quote unquote best years to the streets. You know what I'm saying? So like that is a lot of the issues that the passport bros are having. And they figure like, okay, well, since you wasn't feeling me now, maybe I can go overseas, give me a nice 25-year-old, 22-year-old woman, who maybe have the traditional values that I seek in a female. And I'll go about it that way. But then I was talking to my girl and I was like, here, she was like, some women didn't learn certain things, so they don't know. They don't know and they don't know better. And I was just like, I understand that. But a lot of these men nowadays, especially like the younger generations that are coming out, they're not here to heal with you anymore. They don't want to heal with you no more. They tried that in the 80s. They tried that in the 90s. And they even tried that in the early 2000s. And a lot of men, especially black men, feel that, okay, well, you colored purple me to death. You Ike and Tina me to death. You waiting to exhale me to death.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I don't want to hear like I'm coming up and I'm being successful. Now I'm gonna get the best bang for my buck. I'm gonna get the best bang for my resources. And again, I'm just stating that how some of these dudes feel. Do I personally
I
feel like
agree.
that? I don't feel like that personally, but I see it and I understand why they could feel like that. Because I've heard all my life, I've heard the independent woman this and the independent woman that. You feel me? So, and that's what I told Drina. I said, I'm scared for the young women coming up, especially like the young black women. If I had a daughter, I would be petrified because these young dudes, they don't care.
Right.
Like they really don't care. They not trying to heal with you. They not trying to talk about your trauma and your drama. They are literally leaving.
Mhm.
And that worries me
Smash and dash.
because if more young men, especially our best and brightest in the black community, continue to do this in America, what does that say about black relationships in America within the next 10, 20, 30 years? You know what I'm saying? Because they are predicting that by 2030, 57% of women will be single. Banks are investing in cat food, wine, and homeless shelters because there's going to be so many homeless females. That's a scary thought, man.
It is.
That's a
It
scary
is.
thought. If I had a daughter, like I would really be out here like worried. And you know what? And I'm not the type of guy that be like, oh, you shouldn't want a man to take care of you. I feel like if you are a woman that's worthy of being taken care of, then let that man take care of you. But now coming up in the future, it's not going to even be enough men around to take care of these women.
So the competition gonna be strict among the women.
That's what I'm saying. And like I love my people, you know what I'm saying? And I really do want to see us together. But
Hmm.
the men are tired. They're tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially the young ones. They have no patience. They're not gonna that struggle love shit. That was cool 20 years ago. These young dudes today, absolutely not. They're not doing it no more. And I worry because they shouldn't have to do it. But if this thing really catch on, because like you literally have women from other cultures saying, hey, black man, come over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come here. They don't want you, we do. Like literally. Black king, and people say, well, you're a fetish to them. You think these men care? Like, you think they care? They don't
No,
care if they're a
because
fetish.
nope. Because when I get done, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I don't have to deal with the BS that the women over here give me.
Mm,
Think about this. And let's just talk about men in general. You know, and we can stereotype it to black men. If I am a successful man, I have my own business, or I'm a CEO, I make six figures plus a year. What, as a woman, what can you offer that man that's going to catch his eye? Because with his status, he can have a different woman every week.
mm,
He can play the field, he can play the game. Now, I'm not saying there is no successful men that don't want a woman, but you have to bring something to the table to catch his attention.
mm,
And you already have, most likely at that age, you already have baggage, you have financial responsibility. So if I'm going to let you into my life, you're going to have to help enhance what I've already established for me to even consider dating you.
mm,
Just like a woman critiques a man within the first 10 seconds, she already know whether she going to sleep with you or not.
mm,
So just like you didn't critique him and stirred him up and down, and you already, got him under the microscope. Well, you have to, you have to make me a better person than what I am. Because if I have everything that I need, and the only thing that I'm missing is intimacy, if I'm a man with status, I can go do a business deal and take a woman to a resort. Hey, I'll break her off something, and we can go on back home and go our separate ways.
mm.
But If we gonna rock full time and roll full time, then what can you do to enhance me already on top of the empire that I have built?
Mm.
So as a man, when I say the roles have changed and I'm in my 40s and 50s, and I have my empire, I have my big mansion in the suburbs, I'm successful, I got a company, I'm making half a million a year. Explain to me, why do I need you when in your 20s and 30s you wouldn't even look at a brother?
Mm.
What are you gonna do?
You know, and this is why I said our professional black men being attacked, because you got brothers like the one that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting it from that end. And Umar says he wants brothers to stay in the community. But if those brothers feel like they can't get no love from the women in a community, because a lot of men are driven by sex, and you know, it's just, it is what it is. But if they feel like if they feel they can't get love from women in that particular community because they may be seen as squares and you know, unattractive maybe, or whatever the case may be, can you fault them for wanting to go where they are celebrated? They
No.
are human. They have needs at the end of the day. Can you really fault them for that?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand both sides of the coin. Sean,
I understand. I understand what he's saying. Yes, we do need positive role models. Yes, especially in the black community. There are so many young black men without father. I understand that. But let me look at the flip side. As a black male or as a man in general, okay, if I stay in the community, I am risking everything that I ever worked for.
mm, mm. Sean Don said 23 and on my way to finishing LPN school. Shout out to you, Sean. I already have a daughter by a hometown girl, but I, in capital letters, had to get a passport. The love is different. I even learned Spanish for a better connection. See what I mean? He 23. Like this is the this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The Gen Z, they're not playing games no
Mm-hmm.
more. And
Right,
this is
right.
and shout out to that brother. Go where you feel like you are celebrated. I'm not
Yes,
knocking it.
yes.
But to me, that should be concerning. Like if I was a parent with a black daughter, I'd be very concerned
Oh, I
right
am.
now.
I am.
I'll be extremely concerned right now because you got young men that say, I'm not dealing with that. And this is one. We just talked about it. I'm not trying to heal. I don't care about your trauma. I don't care about your daddy not being there. I don't care about your mama slapping you. I don't got time for that. I'm not trying to break no walls down that I did not build.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go elsewhere where I don't have to deal with any of that. This is the perception that a lot of these young dudes have. And I'm just like, I mean, can you blame them? You know what
No,
I'm saying?
no.
Like then that question comes, if they feel like they can get a better deal, not only with they feel like they'll have a better deal with women, but their money goes further in these other countries. Further. You know what I'm saying? In Thailand, they could get a luxury condo.
Man, come on.
A luxury condo for $300 American dollars
A month, so I can go in
month.
Thailand and pay up a whole year. What I'm gonna pay in America for 2 months maybe.
How can you beat that deal? It's hard to beat that type of deal. And
It
with the
is.
power of the internet and these young dudes is seeing these dudes over there broadcasting their success, and man, you come over here, Thailand, or you can go over here to Africa, South Africa, and everything like that. Get you a nice 4-bedroom mansion house for $1,000 a month or something like that. Like it's hard to beat deals like this.
You can live better. Matter of fact, man, you know, when we went to Jamaica and I was outside the United States, man, this is why I tell people to travel and go experience other cultures. Man, look, America is lying to you. Okay,
Mm.
they are lying to you about the women's, the lifestyles. There is parts of Africa that is so beautiful that you would just never imagine.
Mm.
You have to get outside America. So just think if the women's in other parts of the country, they're beautiful too. And once again, I'm not bashing the American women, but if you have to step outside the walls of the United States to go find love, who is we to bash you? You gotta do what's best for you.
Mm.
If that's where love comes from, because one thing about it, as you see, a lot of sisters ain't got no problem stepping outside they race to go find love.
Mm.
So as a black man, don't feel bad if that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, brothers, I just feel like you should go where you are celebrated. I'm not gonna Dr. Umar you and tell you that I'm gonna give you 100 lashes because you need to be in this place or you need to be with a woman of this color. I'm not gonna do that.
Nah.
Because I know how hard it is to be uh somebody who works every day 60 plus hours a week, 70 plus hours a week. And the first thing you want to do when you come home is come home to peace.
Mm-hmm.
Rather that be with a sister, rather that be with a Caucasian, rather that be with a Latina, Filipina, whatever the case may be. Because black man, I understand how hard it is to get out here and compete and grind every day. So with that being said, I will never pigeonhole you to any race. I will never pigeonhole you to any community. I'm saying you do what's best for you. If you feel like
Exactly.
that's staying in the black community with a black woman, I'm all for it. I love black love. But at the same time, if you feel like they're not feeling you over here, and you feel like you need to go somewhere else, you feel like a Filipino woman can do that, or a Japanese woman can do that, or whoever, or African
Mm-hmm.
sister can do that, man, shit,
So
get
be
your
it.
passport.
There you go.
I ain't knocking it. Get your passport. Do what you feel like you got to do, man. Because I don't know, man. We brothers go through a lot, man, and sometimes I know it can feel as if it's never enough. It's never enough. It's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm 22. I made $50,000. Oh, that ain't good enough. You got to make 60. Okay, I'm 25. I make 70,000 a year. Well, you got to make 80. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I get it because it seems like it's never ending. I'm saying that you should always be striving for more, but at the same time, you deserve peace and you deserve balance as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair for Umar or anybody else to tell you that, just because you don't want to date a woman who may have a child, or you don't want to stay in the hood, or you want to lay up in the suburbs, that you wrong. And it's your fault that the community is in shambles. And that's man, that really irritated me.
The community was in shambles before I was born.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, how dare you? How dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want
When
to.
he said that, man, I almost had to pull over when he said that. I mean, seriously, because who is you to tell somebody that if a if me as a black man is going to be a positive role model, let me do it on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm gonna. I remember this one incident back where I'm from St. Louis. This private person, private investor, they had donated like 200 laptops to the school so the children can do virtual learning.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, they only got about 50 laptops back, and the other 150 made their way to the pawn shops, got sold, got lost. So when somebody make an investment into the community, you're making an investment in hopes of getting a positive return.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just times where you just gotta know, hey, if I put my money here, you know, I, or why should I put my money here when I know it ain't gonna work out?
Mm.
You know this.
Right. 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 That's real talk. It wouldn't make no sense. That's insanity because you're expecting a result that you know not gonna come.
There you go. There you
Why am I
go.
gonna put my money in a place to where I know it's not gonna grow?
Right, right, right. Why? My dad always told me you don't put yourself in a situation to fail. And we can go back and look at numerous of examples where people have tried to invest in the community and it went haywire. People have to want to help themselves first.
So, Ted, I'm about solutions. So, what do you think? And I know this might be a loaded question, but what do you think might be the solution uh, for Black relationships in America? What do you think might be the solution to further help the Black community become more successful when it comes to relationships and just progressing as a whole, as a community? What do you think might be the solution?
As a whole and as a community to progress, I think each individual need to look at themselves.
Mm,
Check yourself before you start checking somebody else. Examine yourself.
mm,
What am I doing wrong? Am I in a position where I am in a position to take on a family, a woman, and am I ready to be a positive role model?
mm,
Because in order to break something down, we have to examine the individual parts. In order to understand how an engine works, you have to know the internal workings of that engine. So, in order to examine the community, we have to look at the internal parts, which goes back to the family structure.
mhm,
So, and within the family structure, each individual, the mother, the father, especially, which are the role models, they have to examine themselves. Am I in a position to be a positive role model? Am I educated? If not, what do I need to do to better myself, to bring in more income? Am I mentally fit to be in a relationship? Do I have baggage? Do I have insecurities? If each person examines that and get themselves together, then it comes together and it works together as a whole, and the community will be better. Like
mm,
the old saying go, it takes a village. Dr. Umar got great ideas, but at the same time, he, you're pushing a solution that's going to take more than just the black businessman. What about the successful black fathers? Yes, the black businessman. What about our pastor, the spiritual leaders? What about the key people that's in position that gets people's attention? The politicians, you know, like I said, the clergymen, the businessmen, your sports stars, people that's in positions of leadership. Everybody got to come together collectively and be a positive role model to help the community. You just can't play the. Why does he think the black businessman? I have no idea, but you're neglecting everybody else. Sports stars is more of a role model than the black businessman.
yeah, yeah. I agree because they're popular. The media promotes that, and
Exactly.
and I, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that um that is just the fault of the people in those communities. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're an adult, it is up to you to enhance your own knowledge. But I
Right.
can't. I won't sit up there and say that it's totally their fault. But at the same time, um, especially grown men, nobody feels sorry for grown men, especially if nothing's wrong with you. It is up to you to want better. And again, how I help my community is by doing shows like this, is by broadcasting, showing young brothers that a black face like mine can come from where you come from, showing you how to do it, to show you can make a change. I talk to a lot of brothers daily. You know what I'm saying? They email me, some I have phone conversations with, and they say, I appreciate the game that you give because you made me want to become a nurse, and they out there doing it, living a dream, and providing for their family. Shout out to Earl. I was talking to Earl last night on the show, and he said he had found my videos and they motivate him. And I said that's my contribution to the black community. You know what I'm saying? Showing them that it's a different way, and these are solutions. And I think a lot of channels on YouTube, they're not solution based. It's a lot of niggas talking. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
a lot of these cats be on YouTube 8-10 hours, a day, and it's just talking. It's nigga babble, and no real solutions are being implemented. And to me, to me, I feel like the key to success as a black man, you know what I'm saying? I feel like some parts of the keys for success is number one, keeping God first. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all may not be believers, but I'm a Christian, so that's what I believe. Number one, keeping God first. And I also feel like that it is important to have communication skills. Um, to be successful in this world, you have to adapt. You have to go out in the world and you have to compete, and you have to have good communication skills. So I think that's one way. That's another part of the pie. Number two, I think that us as a people have to start investing more in our health, our physical health. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. And to act like that, it's not, I think it's kind of crazy. Um, let's just keep it real. A lot of dudes, a lot of dudes probably could get further with women if they kept their appearance up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes get lazy and all that kind of stuff. And let's not act like females don't like to look at nice things. Females don't like to look at nice arms. And not saying that you got to be ripped up or shredded or anything like that, but just when you keep yourself up, keep yourself together, you look good, smelling good, and all that kind of stuff. I think that's another important part of the puzzle. Um, so you got, keeping God first, you got your communication skills, you keeping your physical health in check, make sure you keep your mental health in check. A lot of us need therapy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us really need therapy. A lot of us grew up with a lot of trauma. Fortunately, I didn't, because my mom did her best to keep us away. My mom and dad did their best to keep us away from that. You know what I'm saying? But even as a nurse, I feel like all nurses need therapy because uh, they just dealing with an absurd amount of death on the daily. You know what I'm saying? And their job is literally to put everybody else's needs before their own. And to me, that's an unnatural thing to do. And I think you do need therapy for that. And so once you got your communication skills tight, your physical health together, your mental health together, you need that grind. You need that tenacity. You know what I'm saying? And you got to learn how to not be comfortable. And I think it really just starts with you, because I think a lot of the time, especially like in these red pill spaces and all that kind of stuff, we worry about, not we, but a lot of them dudes worry about the wrong thing. They be worrying about women who don't want them and all that kind of stuff. When really, are you the best version of you at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Once you get to a certain level in your life and you do really good in one area, some people think, well, I shouldn't have to do that. And that's cool. But and if that's the case, then go overseas where it may be a little bit easier. But if you're trying to compete here in America, we know that average and good just ain't good enough. And if you can be super successful over here and make it over here, you're gonna dominate over there. You know what I'm saying? In other places, you dig? So I just think once you have those elements, I think you damn near unstoppable. You get that tenacious grind, you get your mental and your physical together, you put God first. Man, come on. At the end of the day, you are what you attract. So,
Sure.
Ted, anything else you want to add before we wrap this thing up?
Nah, just hey, invest in yourself, grind. You was talking about health. I'm on a journey myself to lose my
Yeah,
weight.
man.
I'm
I
actually
seen you. I seen you, man.
right.
You out here
I'm
slimming
not.
down.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Getting ready to start incorporate the gym. I'm investing in my health because I want to obtain wealth,
Yeah.
and wealth not only physical, but mental wealth too. So I encourage a lot of men, especially my brothers, to invest in yourself. One thing about it, when you get into a relationship, and I'm just gonna say this real quick. The Bible said a woman is a man's helper. In order for her to be your helper, you have to already be established and have work going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go get a woman and expect her to help you. See, that's the reason why women go off and do their own things. They go off and go sell Tupperware and they go on girls trip because they get bored with you.
Mm.
So when a woman comes into your life, her job is to enhance you and to multiply it. A woman is a multiplier of on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she does, she multiplies it. Everything. You give her food, she gives you a meal. You give her love, she gives you a family. You give her a house, she gives you home. You give her attitude, she's gonna give you hell. I guarantee you. She's a multiplier. So the woman is there to enhance your life. In order for her to do that, you have to be established, you have to have work, and you have to have something in progress going. And when she comes in, she will enhance you. My buddy met a woman the other day, and this woman, he was nominated to be like a driver of the year or something, and he had to write an essay, didn't have a clue. She wrote it for him. She helped him out, and he got picked as the number one driver. She multiplied and enhanced his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, invest in yourself. You know, don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. As a black man and as men in general, we are some of the most, we are builders and we are visionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Follow
Mm-hmm.
your dreams, make it
For sure.
happen. But most of all, most important, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, take care of your health. By the
Mm.
grace of God, I'll be 50 years old in May, and I'm taking my health very serious. Now, I don't have no health problems, but I was with my fiance LaShawn, and when a person start losing weight, things go through your head, especially when you're not trying to. So I was doing intermittent fasting and I had changed my diet, but I didn't think that the weight was going to start dropping off. I mean, I actually have a jawline,
Mm.
so,
Yeah.
and I got scared and she took me to the hospital. They ran tests. It came back. I had a clean bill of health, blood levels, everything was fine. I'm going to see my primary care physician in March. But that there really made me think like, you know what? I need to take care of my health now before something really do happen. You're
Mm-hmm.
not getting no younger, and the human body's changed, and you want to change it for the better, not the worse. So please invest in your health, invest in your mind, and most of all, invest in yourself.
There you go. I wish I had like I'm gonna get me a little soundboard soon, y'all. I wish I had a little soundboard. I would have played the clap, but I'm gonna just clap for you on that one. And before you go, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot leave you because I didn't do it last time, but I cannot leave you without CJ's joke of the day. Are you ready, Ted?
I'm ready, man. Come on.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is CJ's joke of the day. What? And I'm gonna tell you too because I didn't do it yesterday. So man, you got a 2 for 1. What do you call an angry carrot? What do you call an
An
angry carrot?
angry carrot.
Yes, a steamed veggie. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
God.
Oh, I appreciate that. And since we didn't do one last night, I got one more for you. I got one more for you before I go. Let me see. Where do polar bears keep their money? Where do polar bears keep their money?
Polar caps. I don't
In
know.
the snow, in a snowbank. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
This has been
God.
this has been THVN live show number 2. I appreciate y'all for being here. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button. Any questions, comments, concerns, collaborations, business opportunities, you can see me an email at cjkyles90@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at the High Value Nurse. Follow me on TikTok at CJ Kyles. Shout out to my man Taurus Teddy. Is there anything you want to promote?
Hey, just check me out. I'm gonna start documenting my journey of fasting and my health. My YouTube channel is Trucking Tours, and we do travel. And as I did mention, I have a fiance, so you can check us out on YouTube at All About the Garretts.
All right, all about the Garretts. Let me go over there and subscribe now. Y'all got some content up on there?
She has a couple of videos, but we going on a cruise in February, and we're gonna be doing some things. So that's our channel together. But I also has my own the trucking is trucking and traveling. That's my personal channel about my journey with trucking, and just basically I'm kind of excited because now I get to document my journey with fasting and losing weight. So I'm gonna start going to the gym. CJ, I need you to get
Let's
back in
get
the
it.
gym with me, man.
Let's
You know.
get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Welcome to the gun show, boy. I'm starting to see the line. I'm starting to see the lines and everything, boy. Let's get it.
Hey,
All right.
hey, I'm gonna get caught up with you. I may have a little more to do than you, but
It's
I'm
all
gonna get
good.
there, man. Oh yeah,
It's all good.
always,
Oh yeah.
always.
Welcome to the
One day
gun.
I'm gonna do that one day, man. I'm gonna do that one day.
Well, all right, man. Well, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all rocking with us for 2 hours. It's been a dope show. I don't know. I might go live in the morning, because we got a snowstorm coming. I'm feeling a little call off coming tomorrow. I don't know if I feel like driving through all that. So we might be live again tomorrow. You never know what a player. So I appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow. Ted, you can always hit me up, man. I appreciate you
Yes,
coming on.
sir. I do appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
All right, you too, man.
Bye.
Peace. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my guy Ted. I appreciate y'all for being here. As I said, questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section. Or if you want to do a collab or a business opportunity, sponsorship, anything like that, hit me up at cjcows90@gmail.com. And I will talk to y'all in a minute. If you don't do nothing else, get paid. Young nerds get paid. Peace.